What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. In today's video, we are going over Decentraland's mana as its price is actually doing something very interesting. Over the last couple of days, it does seem to have been retracing back to a key zone, but it does seem as if support may have been established, and for that reason, that may be one of the last confirmations for me to be making some pretty strong buys here on mana very soon. So of course, I want to give you guys an update and just let you guys know exactly what I am doing with mana. Now, in the last video, I'm not going to play too much of it, but I just want to show you guys something. In the last video, which was on February 16th, we talked about the possibility of the double top forming around 335 as we did see. Now, listen to what I said because it's going to be very important for what I'm going to talk about going forward. Let's go ahead and let's listen in. And for both of those reasons, I do want to protect myself from that by establishing that $2.60 stop loss, because at that point, if we were to lose 260, we've lost this most recent low here. We've now established another lower low. And the idea is that at that point, we may come back down all the way to our bottom side macro Fibonacci, which could look like a fall as low as $2.27. And of course, I want to limit myself from seeing, possible losses of another 15 to even 25%. So what we can see is that's basically what happened, right? We came back down, we set this new lower low from this macro low, as we could see right here, back from February 13th. We then came down under $2.60 and wicked straight down directly into this Fibonacci retracement zone, right around $2.22. So, I was about 5 cents off with my prediction of how low it can go, but you can see that once we did get that loss of that key support level, it did result in a retracement back to the macro Fibonacci, which is a very healthy move, and I am glad that we talked about this prior to it happening, so you guys were aware of what was on the table before it did happen. Now, I did give a few options in that video, but this was the more prominent one, and so of course we can see that that did come to fruition. But now the fact that we have seen this major pullback to this key Fibonacci zone, and it does seem to be holding up at this point, I would say that it is very fair that we can start to plan a possible buy here, as if we can establish the higher low at this point, that could be one of the last confirmations that we need that mana is back and ready to see some growth. Now, of course, whenever we look at this from a more of a zoomed out perspective, there are a few steps that we needed to take for mana to even be close to a buy, in my opinion. We needed to see the break from the downward sloping trend line and the exiting on the bullish side of this descending triangle. Once we did so, we needed to hold that trend line as support. Once we did that, we needed to get back above the macro high and set a new higher high, which was going to be back above $3.05. Then once we did that, we needed to set the higher low to confirm that this isn't just a bear trap. This isn't just a bullish fake out, which is going to continue to push the price back down below this point to set some lower lows. And then once we set that higher low, we confirm it by clearing some of our key levels of resistance here. And at that point, we are now in a confirmed uptrend for the most part, as long as the market does allow. We can start to really expect that some stronger gains to the upside will come over the next couple months, over the next couple weeks. And so, of course, as you can see, we are sitting very close to that final step. If we are capable of holding this 224 level and staying back above this key level of support while going back up to recapture a few of these key levels of resistance that we're about to talk about, I think that we can go ahead and say that a good buying opportunity is very, very close. Now, this is totally dependent on the fact that we are capable of staying above this level here between $2.24 and $2. If at any given point we do start to come back down below this level, none of what I'm about to talk about even matters, because the loss of this level likely results in a resortment back to this previous macro low at $1.70. And so as long as we're above $2, we're looking okay, but the loss of that level, again, does very likely push us back down to these levels. And from that point, we have a lot of considering to do of where this thing could go to the downside, as some of the downside potential could be quite bad, okay, to be honest. We could see falls of another 50% from here if that was to happen, right? So what we're going to talk about today is a few moving averages that I think we need to clear. That'll be the final confirmations for me. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull up the 50 and we're going to pull up the 20 and the 1, and let's do the 200. That's fine. So let's just start off with the 50 and the 200, as we are in a bit of a range right now, okay? So as you can see, we are finding resistance off of the 50 moving average while bouncing off of the 200 moving average back here and right here. So what that tells us is that gives us a very obvious range. And what we need to know is that if we are capable of breaking back above the 50 moving average, there's a very strong chance that we will have then seen this support not flipped into resistance or not continued into resistance. We then broke that resistance, in which we very likely will start to continue to see some growth to the upside, especially if we do clear this previous level of macro support right around $2.84. Now, in the event in which we do that, we would also very likely start to see the clearing of our 20 simple moving average back up towards $2.90. $2.98, and which would be the very last confirmation that I personally would want to see. There have been multiple times in which we do see these strong bounces to the upside get rejected by that 20 simple moving average. And so for that reason, I would like to see that we can at least get back above the 20 simple moving average before I am going to be doing any purchasing. Okay, that is a historically strong level of resistance, even on strong days of recovery of this nature. And so for that reason, of course, I'm not going to get too excited while we are below it. Historically, that is a bearish time in the market until we can get back above it. So we've set the foundation. We established the low. We are now looking to hold some support on top of a very strong key level, as we did see a macro retracement here. The final step, the last thing that we need to do, is let's get back above that 20 and back above that 50 moving average. And then from there, I personally will be doing a stronger amount of accumulating. Now, my strongest accumulation, the largest amount of accumulating that I personally will be doing, will be once we clear $3.28. Okay. Now, of course, I do want us to get back above that 20 simple moving average, back above that 50 moving average. And once we're capable of doing so, yes, I will be buying a little bit. Don't get me wrong. I will be adding to my bag there. But personally speaking, I will not be doing the majority of my buying until we get back above 328, which is where we did double top out here, as this is a very obvious level of confluence. We can see the resistance, the support, the resistance, resistance, resistance. I mean, it's served as resistance and support time and time and time again. And historically speaking, again, when we're getting above this level, we have been seeing these nice little pops to the upside. So I would like to see that we can get some daily closes back up here. And then from there, clearing that rejective high is the strongest sign from the bulls that they're ready to make this price continue back to the top side. And then from that point, I am expecting us to see $4 to $4.30 on the mana price relatively quickly. Now, I do understand that the market is very shaky and everything realistically is moving around Bitcoin right now. So do not abandon your Bitcoin technical analysis. But with what we are seeing right now, any bad news could pull this price to the downside pretty far. So what I would go ahead and say is that we should still pay very, very close attention to this macro Fibonacci and the loss of $2 at any given point, whether it be from news, whether it be from just technical moves itself, would be pretty bad for the price. And from there, I would start to expect, stronger losses back towards maybe even as low as $1.70 to $1.50. So overall, again, my goal is not to tell you what is going to happen, but prepare you for the outcomes that may happen. And so that is exactly what I'm going to be looking for. And that is exactly how I'm going to be going about it. So of course, I hope you guys did enjoy today's little quick update in which we did simply just go over the steps in which we have taken to get where we are now and the final steps in which we do need to make in order for me, myself, to be making some pretty strong buys here for Decentraland Mana. Now, do understand, guys, I'm not an expert nor a financial advisor, so you should not be basing your financial decisions at all off of this video, but I do hope that I can help contribute to your research and show you guys some of the things that I think in order to help you with your planning and with some of the research, again, that you are doing. But with that being said, that's going to be about it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you all next time. Peace.